Well, I was waiting for this. The Vatican finally weighed in on artificial intelligence, and that in of itself is interesting, having a religious view. Now, I believe in God. I believe in Jesus Christ. I wrap my mind around that. And the end of the day, I need those rules. I like the way that religion is. I like the way it's organized. And I understand and I like that process. So that's me. That's why I really need it. I want that. And that's been my lifestyle. I adopt it. I don't go out there and scream it from the rooftops. I don't yell at people. I don't say you have to obey me and this and that. But again, that's just my decision in life. And maybe you have your own belief systems, and it's great. I'm very happy for you. But now we have the Vatican weighing in on artificial intelligence and a couple interesting things, talking about how they don't want it to replace that human to human connection. They don't ever want it to have it put in a position where it's going to be more creative than human beings or replace human intelligence. And finally, talking about the medical profession, they don't want it to ever replace that doctor patient relationship and give medical advice because it's prone to errors and these sorts of things. Yes, all that is probably true. The problem is not everybody is going to pay attention to what the pontiff says. In addition to that, beyond religion, the other issue is everybody is scurrying as fast as they can to try to develop it because they see money at the end of it. Now, if we could pull back and say we're going to see this utopia where basically the world, I don't know if you've ever seen Bliss or Blissful. Selma Hayek was in it, Owen Wilson, I believe. It's an interesting movie where somebody found some kind of thing. I don't know what kind of technology he developed or something like that, but he was able to make the entire world not have to work. And I don't believe they had robots at the time, but basically everybody had this universal basic income, and not communist, because everybody had everything they wanted of whatever they wanted. And of course, you remove the challenge when you do that. And human beings really need challenge, but there's other challenging things to do, new philosophies and these sorts of things to maybe get better at or understanding different various things in life. But in this movie, it was interesting because everybody was kind of there. Artificial intelligence has the ability to give all of us that kind of a life. Unfortunately, we have that greed and those things that get involved by the people that may be developing this technology and working on it because they see this as developing legacies. But even beyond a legacy, which might be healthy in certain respects, they're now pulling down and looking at it from a monetary point of view. And when you have billions of dollars being injected into this beyond human intelligence, then you have a lot of other things at play there. And I don't know the mindset because I've never been around a billionaire. I don't think I've ever even met one in person. But I'm curious if it could be that everybody could pull back and said, listen, we have just created something better than us. Let's put it together and organize it in such a way that it would make the entire world safe. It would make the entire world have enough to eat. It would make the entire world at a level where they wanted to be, and there would be different sections of the world. Let's say people wanted to be like the Amish, and they really didn't want to ascribe to any technology or artificial intelligence. It would make that world safe. And then the people that wanted to live in a virtual world, let's say, to be enhanced in some way, it would make that world safe. Now, it would have to do it with balancing very carefully and not having some overarching drive to be able to conform humans to its own belief system, still giving us independent thought. But then I think about independent thought, we're so easily swayed as a people, as humans. We can think one thing today, and slowly with the different algorithms that are built out there on social media, we can kind of change our opinion over time. When I was growing up, prior to the advent of even the answering machine, I remember I had a certain belief system, but I lacked a lot of life experience. So I go through the police department, then I develop a different view. And I was LAPD for a long time. So then I get a little bit more coarse around the empathetic edges and trying to be sensitive and connecting with my inner child and those things, and I move through life and I really change. But it seems that human beings, and I have people talking to me on my streams and even commenting on videos, how they believe something is true, like the Enron egg, for example, the nuclear egg that they came out with. At the very beginning, I got to tell you, I'm thinking, wow, that's amazing. I can't believe they did it. Then you do a little bit more research, you find out it was just a total fake. Maybe they're on the way to that technology. Maybe they just did that to try to influence their stock or their company or whatever it may be. However, that is a good sign that we are kind of easily manipulated and fooled. If we don't know any better, is it okay? If somebody says this is your utopia and they get us used to that way of thinking, and then they want, and then we accept that as being our own thought, very cleverly manipulated, is it wrong? And then how do we decompress for that, or how do we come back from that kind of mindset when we are thinking that this really is the way, but then, like the Matrix, we take the, was it the blue pill? The red pill? One of the pills, I forgot what pill. But we take that pill, and then all of a sudden, all the veil comes off, and we see everything as it should be or as it really is, which again, if you look at physics and the quantum world, unless you're seeing something that doesn't exist, there's a lot of things that we don't understand and don't know. So maybe we should break it back down a little simple. I know the religious world would like artificial intelligence or this beyond human intelligence never to become godlike. If we look at it in the way that it's developed and the way that it's growing at the pace, I believe that at some point it will be supreme being like. And in fact, it's smarter than most of the human beings on the planet at this point, and I believe that's going to continue to grow. The systems to put in place, or the rules or the guardrails, if you will, like the gutters, the protecting gutter things of the bowling alley to keep the ball from going off into the gutter. Those aren't there, and we have everybody scurrying as quickly as they can to get to it because people believe that once this technology is fully outfitted and artificial general intelligence comes in, where basically it's smarter than every human being in every way, every shape or form: music, creativity, intelligence, mathematics, doctors, medical, these sorts of things, lawyers, attorneys, counselors, therapists, the Zen people, the religious people. Once it gets there, it's probably, and self learning, self teaching, once it gets there, and it's able to make itself even better, it's going to come up with some stuff that's just nuts, that it's going to be beyond human intelligence as it's starting to be now. What did we do? What was created? And how is that going to impact our future lives? I do believe, just like with artificial intelligence, in my normal life, I have rules. I have boundaries for myself. I have certain things I don't do. For example, I drank alcohol a long time, and I did enjoy that, but I stopped because alcohol doesn't help me. And it took a while to realize that. And it wasn't because I had some major life changing event. I didn't kill somebody in a car crash because I was drunk. I didn't go to prison. I didn't get arrested. I was a cop for a long time. I wasn't drinking on the job. I don't drink, I didn't drink around as far as people goes when I'm working or trying needing to do something involving other people. It was always as a luxury in addition to life, or at other parts in life where it fit in. But then I realized, you know what? It's not helping me. It doesn't help me maintain the physical shape I want to maintain. It doesn't help me keep my mind sharp because it dulls everything. And it doesn't really help make me feel any better because at the end of the day, it is a depressant, and that's something that doesn't help Connor McIver. There you go, there's that. Help me move my life forward. So I stop. So I have rules. I have other rules too, things that I won't eat, things that I won't put into my body, or if I do, the ways that I bring them in is more from a celebratory kind of a position instead of eating in guilt or hiding. That's why I was able to lose all that fat over just 7.5 months, over 135 pounds. But I realized that food wasn't as the world wants you to think of it. as this massive celebration, this fantastic time, this thing that you need to elevate to this higher level. So I have a rule with regard to that. Food is a necessity for most times in life, but I also go for days without eating as well because of the sharpness it creates, the way that I feel, and how it makes me look at things without having my digestive system enacted or engaged. Not eating for a long time helps my mind, it helps me think. In fact, as I'm recording this video, January 30th, 2025, I haven't eaten. Last meal I had was on the 28th, about 5 or 6 p.m. And I'll probably go through till Saturday. That's a nice 72, 85-hour fast or so. And it just works for me. And I have enough body fat on my frame still to be able to do that and then refeed simply and then just continue on. These are the rules I have in place. The systems that are being built around artificial intelligence, they don't seem to have any rules have been developed. The the data that it's using to learn, while a lot of it is real stuff on the internet, it's starting to be able to use synthetic or made up data. And it reminds me of the movie War Games back in the, God, was it 80s? With Matthew Broderick. You had that Whopper computer that was built around running scenarios about global thermonuclear war. So it would run these different scenarios. And finally, at the end of the movie, not to ruin it for you, but it realized it's better not to even play. Now, while the God people, the Vatican, the Pope, they have their position, and while I haven't always agreed with their positions over the years, it is one of rules. It is one of establishing things that seem to be about the greater good. Maybe the greater good should be held on to a little bit more. And maybe the technology should be used more as a tool to amplify and supplement human life instead of letting it take over everything in our world. I'm Connor with Honor. Let me know what you think in the comments. I would love to know where you think it's going to go. I talked to a programmer a few days ago in one of the YouTube videos commenting, and there's a lot of insight there. Just like they said from the Vatican, the system does not respond 100% accurate all the time. But when you're looking at the models as comparative to a medical doctor, I don't know who gets it right more. And the more that we have the system come in is going to give it the more chance to have people kind of infiltrate and also set us up for other major problems in the world, disease, viruses, and these sorts of things. Again, but on the other side, it could be this utopia where everybody has everything they want. But then, do we really want to have everything we want? It's like the Twilight Zone. It's all about movie references with me. There was an episode of the Twilight Zone where this gangster died and he went to what he thought was heaven. And he would pull on the slot machine and he would win. He would play poker and he would win. Every woman he wanted, he would win. All of that stuff. And then finally he got to it. There was no challenge. It wasn't fun anymore because there was nothing that he had to work out. It was all given to him, and thereby that being the Twilight Zone, that was his own version of hell. I'm Connor with Honor. We'll see you in the next one.